Hey everybody, welcome to part 2 of how I became a Mopar enthusiast. So I had my horizon. I was working at a pizza delivery place and I met this guy. Both him and his brother worked there at the pizza place, and they were both from North Dakota and they were big time Mopar enthusiasts. They talked about a lot of the Challengers and Cudas and Chargers that they owned, but they also turned me on to the movie Vanishing Point, which the 70s version, which you watch this and you really want a 1970 Challenger RT. It's a cult classic. Anyways, so that was kind of getting going in my system in that. I ended up leaving the pizza place and I went to work for an auto parts company. And while I was there, most of the guys that I worked with, they were into Chevys, so they definitely were not Mopar guys. They used to always kind of give me a hard time about Mopars. Well, I ended up buying one of my only 5 vehicles out of 29 that I've owned that weren't Mopars. I bought a 1991 Chevy S10. I bought it brand new. I'll put a picture of it in here. So I ended up driving the S10 for about a year. I was working at the auto parts store, and I ended up trading it in on another non-Mopar vehicle, a Isuzu Impulse, but hey, it had handling by Lotus. So, and I owned that vehicle for just over a year. But anyways, I ended up, while I had that vehicle, the friend that I had met from North Dakota, he asked me to go with him out there because he was buying a 77 Dodge pickup, a short box. I said, sure. So we went out there, came back. We had kind of an adventurous trip. We put it in the ditch on the way back, but that's a whole other story. Anyways, I ended up buying that truck from him, and it was actually pretty cool. It was my first vehicle that I ever owned with a V8. It was a 318. It had headers on it, dual exhaust. It had a little cam in it, so it loped when it idled. I ended up replacing the carburetor on it, but when I bought it, what had happened is the diff pin had gone through the rear end, so I replaced that. It had a 355 posi rear end. So I had that truck. Unfortunately, I had to sell that because my parents, I lived at home at the time and I could only have one vehicle, so I sold that. Well, another friend of mine, he was looking for classic Mopars. We ended up meeting a guy that had a pole barn full of classic Mopars, and he bought a 70 GTX restoration project from him. And that guy told us about the local Mopar club and the Mopar show that they had, Mopars in the Park. So we ended up, it was 1992, we went to that Mopars in the Park show, and that was a really awesome time. And we'll have to stay tuned for part 3. Thank you for watching.